Welcome to the Bandito Podcast, where we're calling a spade a spade. Great to be here with you guys today. There's no way, man. There's no way. When I first saw this clip, I said to myself, oh, this has to be AI. There's no way that this is a real clip. There's no way that's actually a real person saying that in a real clip, right? But silly me. I have to realize who the person in that clip is. And then once I realize who that person is, well, all my doubts went out the window. All of my doubts and concerns about, is this AI? Is this real? Once I saw this person in this clip, I said, yeah, that sounds like something that person would say. Because that person has said a lot of crazy, outlandish things. I must not be unburdened. Let's get right into it, shall we? Like the video, hype the video, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and subscribe to the channel. That would mean so much to me. Kamala complains that the Save America Act would require people to check notes, show proof of who they are. I can't believe this is real. I couldn't believe this was real either. In case you guys haven't seen it, take a look.
This president is trying to push this SAVE Act, which basically would require that for people to register to vote, you're going to have proof of who you are. This president is trying to push this SAVE Act, which basically would require that for people to register to vote, you're going to have proof of who you are.
Wow.
This president is trying to push this SAVE Act.
What's that?
Which basically would require that for people to register to vote, you're going to have proof of who you are.
How shocked she's. Proof. You're going to have proof of who you are. You actually have to prove you are who you say you are. Oh my God. If this person's coming out in 2028, if this is who the Democrats are going to push ahead of Newsom, ahead of Bernie, ahead of AOC, ahead of Pete Buttigieg, and ahead of all these folks, if this is the direction that the Democrats are going in, oh man, they stand absolutely no chance at all. This person isn't real. There is a robot underneath this underneath this facade. There is a robot underneath. I can't believe that was an actual statement. Harris becomes accidental SAVE Act saleswoman as Trump attack spectacularly backfires. Harris warned that the bill would require proof of identity to register to vote, calling it an obstacle for Americans. Conservatives piled on former Vice President Kamala Harris after she warned Americans would have to prove who you are under the Save America Act, arguing her criticism inadvertently turned into a sales pitch for the Republican-backed bill. Incredible Save America Act saleswoman, wrote conservative commentator Eric Daughtry on X. Harris posted a video on her X account Friday discussing midterm elections while highlighting the SAVE Act, including lamenting to voters that you're going to have to prove who you are. She added the bill would require a passport, which a lot of Americans don't have, or a birth certificate. Same point, obstacles to make it difficult for you to register to vote. Trump has made passage of the Save America Act a top priority for his administration, pushing the stalled election legislation through a series of pressure tactics, including tying it to defense spending and threatening housing legislation. The clip went viral among conservatives, with Trump even pinning the video to the top of his profile on Truth Social. The Jim Crow comparisons are tired. The poll tax is gone. Jim Crow is gone. Proving you're an American citizen before voting in an American election is not oppression. It's common sense. Yeah, just prove you're an American. Just prove you're an American, please. Please. It's not a hard concept. If you're here illegally, you can't vote. You shouldn't be here. Therefore, you shouldn't vote. This is crazy. Imagine a world where you have to prove who you are, said former White House Press Secretary Sean Spicer. She needs to hang it up, wrote Oversight Project Vice President of Litigation Jeff Clark. Kamala Harris complains that if the Save America Act passes, people will have to prove who they are in order to vote, wrote conservative commentator Benny Johnson. Wonder why Kamala Harris thinks this is a bad thing, posted Elon Musk's Political Action Committee America. Kamala Harris on the SAVE Act. It would require Americans to prove who you are to vote. Trump reposted her clip himself, said Fox News anchor Sean Hannity. Trump has warned about the need for voter ID laws for years, including from the 2016 campaign trail. With Congress out of session and the midterms approaching, Trump is continuing to push lawmakers to prioritize passage of the SAVE Act, keeping pressure on Republicans to act when they return to Washington. Democratic lawmakers have argued the SAVE Act would create unnecessary barriers for eligible voters, most notably potentially disenfranchising them. 14 states and Washington, D.C. do not require most voters to present identification when voting in person. 14 states, too many. Let's take a look at some of this reaction, shall we? ID to cast a ballot, Jim Crow. ID to buy groceries, common sense. Yes, Ma'am Donnie is going to ask you to provide ID to buy groceries, but it is too much to ask for ID to vote in elections. Wild. Any family history of mental illness? I have a cousin who thinks voter ID is racist. The sequel to Kamala Rides the Short Bus, a Netflix original. Wow. Damn. The evolution of the Democrat Party. Don't let Trump cheat. Demand voter ID and paper ballot. Folks, there are some places where if you go to present ID, they say, no. We don't want to see it. We don't want to see it. We don't want to look at it. We don't care. If voter ID is racist, then why do you need ID for basically everything else but that in New Jersey? She was MAGA all along. She's a Trojan horse for MAGA, right? This has to be one of the most ridiculous and backwards arguments from the left. Either they don't believe their voters have the mental capacity to identify themselves, or they deliberately are trying to get voters who don't have identification to support them. Both things can be true. And when it comes to the latter, well, they're allowing all these illegal immigrants to come in for a reason, because they know that if they come in and they get all these benefits from the country, they're more likely to vote Democrats, because Democrats are the ones that allowed them in the first place and the ones that defended them staying in the first place. They're trying to stack the deck in their favor. Man, is she bad at speaking. Seriously. Why does she always look drunk or on drugs? She is. Damn. Call your senators. This buffoon keeps talking. She won't make it past NH like last time. Won't make it past New Hampshire like last time. Raised the bar, failed the bar, worked at a bar, lives at the bar, can't spell the bar, should be behind bar. Wow. Rumors swirl that Kamala Harris is being influenced by Russian agent Smirnov. Wow. Voter ID does not prevent voting, it prevents cheating. Let me explain how dumb I am. Wow. Unbourbon. I think we found the problem. Damn, apparently being burdened by what has been really takes a toll on you. Oh, man. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Like the video, hype the video, subscribe to the channel. That means so much to me. See you next time, and as always, take it easy.